What I see, the effect that the British had on the Sikhs was really dramatic. When you see, well, actually it goes back to the First and Second Sikh Wars, when they wanted to take control of the Punjab, were fighting with the Sikhs, and the Sikhs would win the battles, and the British realized that the only way they could beat the Sikhs was to outfox them politically, which they did. And through some treachery and some betrayals, they were able to defeat the Sikhs and then actually take over the Punjab. So early on, as any intelligent occupying nation would do, they analyzed where their areas of resistance were and what were the power that those resistance, pockets of resistance had, and they took steps to diffuse that power. Even the Muslims did that during the occupation of India, during the Afghan invasions. They knew that the Sikhs somehow they drew their strength from the Harimandir Sahib, and that's why they took such pains to try to destroy the Harimandir Sahib or block the Sikhs from there. The British realized that early on too, and they had several scholarly translations made of history and of Bani, and analyzed this and decided how to diffuse the Sikhs. They knew that they couldn't take away their martial spirit, so they worked to enlist their martial spirit. And so they opened up Sikh regiments, which was great. That's a tradition that carries on even today. So there were some very good things that happened, but then there were also some very destructive things that happened. The cutting of the Anand Sahib was one of them, where they would go from the 5th Pauri to the 40th. Now, some people say that's just because there isn't enough time at the end of a Gurdwara. Every time you say an Ardas, you've got to speak a whole Anand Sahib, and we don't have enough time. If that's the case, then do the first 5 and call it the first 5. But what was happening is you do the first 5 and the 40th, and you say, I've done a complete Anand. And that's simply just not true. But that was something that happened during the time of the British. The cutting of the Benti Chopai is something that happened during the time of the British, that they cut it off at the 25th line. And so that really kind of interrupts the Bani and doesn't actually seal it and close it. At that time, they, again, we had spoken before of took away the kirpan, and right when they were working to subdue the Akalis, subdue the Nihangs, they wouldn't allow any Sikh to wear a kirpan in public, and that's when we adopted the small symbolic kirpan. So these things, that's when also when we started tying up our beards and rolling our beards so that they looked all neat and clean, and we started tying our turbans so that that our forehead showed. So these are all things that happened during the British time, so that the power and the character of the Sikhs would change. Now, Sikhs as a nation, we are very nationalistic, and so we support whatever group we're associated with. We're very loyal, and we support whatever group we are associated with. And so as the British occupation continued on into the early 1900s, the Sikhs adapted to that and found their place in it. And by the grace of God and Guru, there were some very stubborn Nihangs that maintained the Rehet and maintained their Banis in secret. Some of those are in secret still today. The Sarab Lo Granth is not published publicly and is kept very close. And it's only in this modern time that they've been publishing the Dasam Granth. I remember back in the 70s, you had to go to Baba Santa Singh yourself in order to get a copy of the Dasam Granth. It was because they were protecting it, and protecting it from pollution and from disregard and from anything that would, cast doubt on it. So there were some very beautiful and stubborn Sikhs that maintained the Rehet, that we're able to reach back to today and to bring forward today.
पूर्ण की जय पग न किस हर